Hey, did you know? Cryo is always more effective in the rain. I'm sorry, I had to. Welcome back to Ascension Arc, the show where we take my now less than many unbuilt characters on my account, and we spend about a month's worth of time building them up to some sort of usable standard, so I can put them in content where I feel it's appropriate. This month, we are taking a look at KAEYA to start off our year, which is honestly one of the cooler characters. I can't even lie. Wait, I just did a joke. I just said cooler characters. Look, KAEYA is one of those starter characters that I honestly wish got a bit more attention, because KAEYA is legitimately a fairly good character. His burst is a super high uptime cryo application that can deal a fair chunk of damage if done correctly, and he doesn't require that much on-field time to really get going. The problem with KAEYA is that getting his constellations is incredibly difficult, as they can only really be obtained from the Star Glitter shop and the standard banner, which, let's be honest here, more often than not, you are not going to end up finding those, and KAEYA's constellations are for the most part really good. Now, I know Ascension Arc tends to get a little bit wordy, so I have restructured the show a little bit so we can get into the action faster. I'll be doing less information about characters and their kit, because let's be honest here, you're going to see it throughout the video, and instead focus on what we are actually going to be doing today. Let me bring up the pre-build. I made a web application. Isn't that fancy? My KAEYA is Constellation 2, which is probably one of his most important constellations, other than C6. Obviously, he is a cryo character, and we're going to be playing him as an on-field DPS. More about that in a bit. We are going to be running him on the new weapon, the Moonweaver's Dawn, because it is actually fairly good for KAEYA. Just being able to increase his burst damage is always welcome, which is why we are also playing Emblem of Severed Fate and not Blizzard Strayer. If we were playing KAEYA as an off-fielder together with someone like Skirk, most likely Blizzard Strayer would be a much better option, but we're not going to be doing that today. That would be a good build. We are not here for a good build, we're here for a fun build. The team we'll be playing him with is something that I'd like to call Frostburn, where we're playing him with, oh my god, what is this? Yeah, you're looking at that correctly. We're doing some fancy schmancy business today. We'll be running him together with Rosaria, Emily, and Bennett, and essentially all we are attempting to do is we are trying to create melts, and more likely reverse melts. Bennett's C6 makes it so that all of our normal attacks are infused with Pyro, meaning that our burst will trigger off of itself. Yeah, you can kind of see where we're going here. We're going to be normal attacking with KAEYA, turning them into pyro attacks, which enables the reverse melt for our burst, rinse and repeat. The reason we're playing Rosaria and Emily is because both of these characters kind of help out in doing that game plan. Emily, of course, only cares about burning, which for us is fairly easy to do. All we have to do is use Bennett's skill, use Emily's skill, and suddenly we have a burning aura on most things. Rosaria is here to increase the crit rate of the entire team, as well as do some very decent cryo application, but also to enable our Cryo Resonance, which increases KAEYA's crit rate even further. Now, with the Cryo Resonance and Rosaria, I believe we have 30% free crit rate just for existing, which is actually really, really good. Emily also deals a fair chunk of damage by herself, and Bennett, of course, is Bennett, so I don't think that one is hard to figure out. Now, for this show, I've actually added a new section today, which is, well, I kind of want to start rating characters. It's kind of fun to spend this amount of time on characters and then give them some sort of rating on an arbitrary scale that doesn't matter. So remember, kids, this is the show where the points don't matter. We will be rating every character from now on based on fun, difficulty, exploration, late game, and investment. Fun should be fairly self-explanatory. Is the character fun to play? The difficulty is how the character is to perform optimally. I'm terrible at this game, in case you haven't noticed, and some characters are just without my reach to do really well on. Exploration should also be fairly self-explanatory. Does the character help you explore the world? Late game stuff is anything from the Stygian to the Spiral Abyss to the Imaginarium Theater. Is the character viable for late game stuff? And investment is how much time you would have to spend to make them worth running over someone else. I am sorry, Yonfei, I did not mean to do that. But as you can figure out, KAEYA's kit isn't really that hard to get behind, because KAEYA is literally one of the starter characters. KAEYA's skill shoots out a little... I am sorry, kitty. Where did you come from? My bad, dude. I'm awful. I'm going outside. I shouldn't be throwing it around cryo in my house anyway. Poor cat. I'll give him extra treats. Anyway, let's go to the courtyard. That should be fair enough. Again, KAEYA's skill is very basic. It is a cone-shaped little poof of Cryo and his burst. Everyone's seen this before. Off-field damage, you can swap characters as you want. It'll stay active. It's actually very, very good. It does deal a fair bit of damage when he's built. I'll give it that much. Now, how we are going to be playing this team is a little bit awkward, though. Obviously, we need Bennett to activate his burst in order for this plan to work at all, so his burst up time is incredibly important. When his burst is up, we're going to go into Emily, and we're going to put down a little crown thing. We're going to go to Rosaria, tap it, and then use our burst. And then go into KAEYA and basically just stand here and do normal attacks and try and keep our burst up, and that's kind of it, really. It's not a super hard team to understand, but getting it to work in practice is going to take a little bit. Now, more importantly, though, we have a lot of leveling to do here. First of all, KAEYA himself, of course, needs Hoarfrost Course, which is from the Cryo Regisvine, I think, which is a very, very easy boss, so that should be no problem. His artifacts, on the other hand, we've got nothing, as we do on most characters when we start, and his talents are going to need some work, too, because we're going to need teachings of Ballad. I don't think we can do this today. We certainly can not. So that's going to have to be another day. We also have the Moonwalker's Dream, which I actually did farm a little bit for accidentally because I was farming for another weapon. So we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to spend some of our time here just getting the weapon leveled up, because I should be able to get it fairly far here. If you're telling me that Cryo's more effective in the rain, I'm going to be very upset with you, KAEYA. Level 70, we can still craft, I think we can actually max out the weapon very early on here. And we sure can. We can max out the weapon today. That's awesome. Accidental farming ahead of time there, I guess, but it is what it is. Let's get this weapon ascended one more time. I don't know if I have enough actual weapon material to do it, though. I might not, realistically. Oh, I do! Just barely, though. Great. We've got KAEYA's weapon up to level 90. That is going to help a ton. Now, for today, I think we have to go take on the Cryo Regisvine, because that is definitely what I'm going to be needing to do. Also, I just realized, you don't have any wings. You're going to need that, buddy. I am a fashionista, man. We're going to have to give you some wings. I kind of like the concealing snow wings on him, so we'll give him some snow wings. Why not? There he is. That looks way better. Anyways, we really just want to do this. We want to set that up, and unfortunately, it's kind of hard to apply burning to this guy. But there we go. Now we're burning. Now we can just hit all the buttons. And the whole plan is to kind of do this. Now here, obviously, we would want to have our burst up. And if we did, it would be circling around and consistently triggering melts. And that's kind of the whole ordeal we're going for here. But yeah, this boss is incredibly easy. Thank God we don't have to do much about it. There's some Hoarfrost cores. There's a pretty bad flower. Let's move on. Kind of the main problem about this team is going to be Benny's energy recharge. I'm not entirely sure if I can keep him on Aquila for this, because he is going to suffer just a little bit. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to burst skill. And now we're kind of just sitting here trying to trigger. As you can see, the melts are going off. We're not dealing any damage, obviously, because we are unbuilt. But they do go off fairly well. Like, that's the idea of this. That's it. You just do that. Obviously, this enemy stands still, so it's very easy to do, but that's what we're doing. Oh, hey, it locked a thing. Crit rate with nothing. I don't know why you locked that. That's disgraceful. Oh! Well, it's giving us cryo damage bonus, but that one isn't very good. Thank you anyway, though. I appreciate it. Anyways, there we go. We got more Hoarfrost cores. We've got, I don't really care about that one. Right, with that in mind, we do have some ascensions that we can do now. We can bring him up to level 50, which is great. We are running out of Mora at a rapid rate, as we always do. We can bring him up to level 60. And we are one short of bringing him up to 70 to actually unlock his second talent. The first one is every hit with Frostburn regenerates HP, which is... it's some sustain whenever you use your skill, but the second one is kind of important. Enemies frozen by Frostburn will drop their elemental particles. So if you are playing him in a freeze team, he does well. Unfortunately, we are not. Look, his freeze team is actually really good, but I just didn't want to build that because it's very traditional and that's kind of boring. This is the one time I get to build funny builds. I wanna build some funny builds. But yeah, with everything set up, you kind of just do this and you produce melts, and that's the gist. Anyways, there is some more of that. We have one more run in us after this, so we're gonna do one more quick little kill. And there is the final one we're going to do today. We have a ton of Frostburn cores, which is great. But we do have a couple of other things that need to be done. Also, I don't know why that menu opened. I would like my free wish, please. Yay! Let's ascend him one more time to make him level 70. Let's use the few amount of books that we have, as we are quickly running out of Mora again. And we will need to get ourselves a couple more before we can bring him up to his level of 80. I like this team. This team's awesome. Whoever came up with this team, because obviously I did some research and saw this team on some forum post somewhere. I'm really into this one. This one's great. I don't know what to say about this one. It's kind of weird. Again, you are playing Circle Impact at its finest degree here, because every single character except KAEYA has a circle to adhere to. But it's still really cool. Here's Circle 1, there's Circle 2, here's Circle K. Like, the second you go outside the circle, this team just doesn't do anything. But when you're in the circle, it can actually perform some stuff. Like, you know what? I love you guys. You get 5 more wishes on me. Damn. Let's do the next one. Can we get something else? No. Anything cool on this one? Oh, purple. That's actually kind of nice. A weapon this time, probably? No, a Layla, which I actually don't have in C6 yet. Really? I thought I had Layla in C6. Huh. Live and learn. Oh my god, double! It's a purple parade today! That has to be a... Okay, whatever. Yeah, sure. I can't even be mad. And nothing. Damn. Oh, that was Layla C6! Oh, shit! That's actually a really good constellation for Layla. That's real good! Holy crap, I'm actually really excited about that. That's awesome. All right, that's the final XP book for today. So I guess that is all we are going to be doing for now. We still need to collect a couple of the Calla Lilies, but I think I will do that off screen because they are really, really boring to pick up. And after that, we just need to do some more bosses, and KAEYA will be ready on that front. It is Saturday, which means we can do some more KAEYA building shenanigans. Off screen, I did go ahead and gather up the last of the Calla Lilies that we needed to ascend once again into level 80, and barely have enough materials to bring him there, but we should now be fine. Level 80 is most likely where KAEYA is going to stay, because I don't feel like bringing him any higher right now. His weapon is done. That's all finished and good. We got no artifacts. We do need to look at his talents today, because we desperately need to start bringing up the burst. The burst being one of the most important things we're going to get from KAEYA himself. Unfortunately, I am recording a little bit early today, so we don't really have that many materials to use, but we'll get there. We do get a standard wish, though, so here you go. Enjoy that, I guess. Well, I don't know what I expected, really. All right, let's just go, honestly, straight in and do a bunch of things. You get pyro damage bonus in here. Is this the one where you literally can't use KAEYA? Oh my god, it's the one where you can't use KAEYA. I hate everything involved in this. Well, you can't use KAEYA for, like, half of it. Because you can technically do the KAEYA damage by doing this, so that's really stupid. Well, we managed to do one entire enemy with KAEYA. Who could have guessed? But we're gonna get some materials here. That's way less than I'd wanted, but okay. Well, everyone in this team is apparently half dead, but I decided to bring in some reinforcements. Because let's be honest here, this would take forever if I were to farm it with KAEYA's team, because they're fucking immune to KAEYA! Whatever. Durin, go. My Durin doesn't deal any damage. We don't talk about it. And apparently neither does my Venti if he's fucking dead. Kill them. Another condensed resin? Oh, that's better. I like that way more. Here's another one. Oh, more purples, please. We're gonna need so many of those. And then I think the final one for now, because I had a chance. Oh no, I have one more resin. Let's fucking go! Alright, for real this time. Now for the final resin of today, which is gonna give us a bunch more materials. God, I'm so happy to finally be doing this video, because I'm excited for the next one. I know that is, you know, kind of reducing KAEYA's worth here a little bit, but the next one is so interesting. I want to get there. I am kind of happy to be playing the KAEYA team as well, because realistically, this team is actually really fun. It's been surprising how much fun I've had just running around with this so far. But yeah, obviously, our most important talent here, should not come as a surprise, is our burst. We're going to bring it up as high as we can here. We've got quite a few of these, so we're just going to use everything we've got. We don't have any spirit lockets, which is unfortunate. Now, for this team also, our normal attack is surprisingly important, because we're going to be using our normal attacks a bunch. So we're going to be leveling all of those, too. Still don't have any Borealis. Whatever. We're going to bring his normal skill up to level 6 as well, because we have the materials to do so. And now we are just going to be focusing on Glacial Waltz, which needs the Spirit Locket of Aurora Borealis. So we're going to have to go fight the dog, who's immune to half of the damage we can do. It's another one of these, isn't it? I want to see if I have anything to actually remake them with, and I do not. I don't have a Dream Solvent, because I rarely, if ever, do any bosses these days. We are going to really quickly just reroll a couple of emblem pieces with the leftover stuff that I have. Animal damage, we don't care. That feather is not great. That flower is garbage. Not terrible, but I would prefer better, because KAEYA is going to need all the help he can get. That is not great. That could have been really, really good if that last thing was crit damage. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We are going to have to do a lot of artifacts anyway, I feel, so I don't think we necessarily have to worry about it. But hey, look, dailies. Level 41, XP books. I love those. It's now a couple of days later because I had work and stuff to do. But hey, we're here with KAEYA. I did some offline farming, as I usually do. Mostly for talent materials, though. And I did collect a bunch of the philosophies of Ballad. Why is that so hard to say? I also did the weekly boss twice, and unfortunately did not get a single one of the actual Boreas pieces we needed. But luckily, we did get a bunch of Dream Solvents. So we are able to make, at the very least, 3 of them, which is good, because we do have 1 more week-ish of time left to do other stuff. I think for KAEYA in particular, we're going to be focusing on the burst. We're going to need to level this up once. And then, I need a singular coin. I thought I had enough. God. With 1 singular coin in hand, let's level up KAEYA's burst to the maximum level we're going to do, which is level 8. That is still 124% of his attack, which is pretty darn good. We do kind of want to level up his normal attack as well, I think. Yeah, they're kind of relevant. Let's make some more coins. Man, I'm just making a lot of coins today. Let's level up the normal attack to 7 as well, because I think that's about as much as we're going to get done. Other than that, though, the last thing we have to do for our KAEYA boy here is start to get some artifacts. And as we said, we're going to be playing him mostly as a burst damage guy, which means we're going back to our favorite place in the universe, the Emblem Domain. Man, I dislike the Emblem Domain so much, only because it's very hard to actually get pieces that are good. But I don't think we have much of a choice. We kind of need to pick these up, and let's be honest here, we may as well. I should also point out that today, when I went to work, we had been snowed in. So I am literally having a snow day as I'm recording this, which is funny, because, you know, Cryo is always more effective in the snow. Alright, artifact number 1. 1 feather, which is not very good, a defense piece, and an EM piece on a set that doesn't need it. Look, we're hitting for... The melts go for, like, a couple of thousand, even with no artifacts on it. I think that's honestly decent. Let's have a look. Defense, attack, defense. Damn. We try for the 3rd time. 2 immediately locked pieces. Ooh, actually, that is an Ito piece. Yeah, it doesn't have defense %, but like everything else on that is outstanding. Okay. Oh, that's a mastery, who cares? Crit rate with crit damage would have been really, really nice, but unfortunately, I don't need this. Yoimiya might want that? Maybe? I want to roll on this, though. This is crazy. Let's do an Ito side grade piece here, why not? Ito's current one is actually pretty good, but it has two very dead stats on it. If we check the reshape, you can see that the rolls are fairly decent, honestly. But this one, that could be really good depending on what it rolls. If it rolls energy recharge, crit rate, crit damage, this thing is insane. I will waste some of my hard-earned things for this, because I'm genuinely curious. Nothing here is particularly bad. Attack is the worst, but it is not bad. So we get it, of course. I want to roll it. I want to see where it gets to. 2 rolls into attack just isn't good enough. This is definitely a reroll piece, though. I'll still level it fully to see where it goes. That is ultimately very depressing. But when I have one more feather, I might reroll this and aim crit rate, crit damage, because this one is realistically very, very good. Man, that's a shame. Anyways, more artifacts. Okay. Crit rate, that is horrendous. HP, energy, no, that just isn't good enough, sadly. I didn't know KAEYA could jump behind enemies, but apparently that's just a thing he does. You learn something every day, but that one wasn't something on my bingo card. Anyways, here we go. Pyro damage. Defense. Defense. I do have 2 resin, which I am going to use. Again, I normally don't like doing it for these videos, but I am in a couple of days behind on farming already that I kind of missed. So they'll just be making up for lost days and not necessarily anything else. Anyways, let's do a double. Crit rate with nothing else. It needs to be better than that. It's nice to see a crit rate circlet, but it definitely needs to be better than that. Like, yeah, it deals some damage. Not KAEYA necessarily, but everyone else is doing their part. Alright, some more resin, here we go. Oh, HP is not really that interesting. Don't know why that locked. Attack, crit rate, energy recharge, attack percent, though. While that isn't a double crit, that is the best thing we've gotten so far. Alright, one more of our normal resin. Only one this time, and it's... I mean, look. It's an on-field cryo damage bonus goblet, but it is so terrible that I would never want to use it. The game is mocking me, but thank you for existing. And the final pull for today gives us a pyro damage goblet, a very bad flower, and a... wow. Alright, let's do some rerolls. We don't have all that many, but we're just gonna throw them in and hope for the best and see what we might get out of here. Pyro damage with nothing. Sad. Defense. Bad. Slightly less bad, but also bad. Crit damage with nothing really. Energy recharge and nothing. Energy recharge and nothing. Crit rate, elemental mastery, attack percent attack. This one's not god-awful. And an energy recharge with no crit on it, which I will not keep. We will need all the good things we can get here. We got an attack goblet, which is not what I want. Feather that isn't that good. Feather with crit damage, elemental mastery, energy recharge is decent, but it is once again not something I particularly want to have because our boy needs more stats. As it stands, we got 5% crit rate, no crit damage, and just an attack sword. I mean, we gotta get some real big stat sticks in here for this to be even remotely good. Let's see. We did get this feather, which I think is realistically better right now, while Benny is going batshit in the background there. We want to see crit rate, energy recharge, probably. That's a good start. Attack percent is not bad. Crit rate again is not bad. Goodbye, all my money. Okay, you know what? 3 rolls into crit rate with 3 beneficial stats. I'll take that. That's tremendous. I'm not gonna be upset about it. It's not exactly the highest CV piece imaginable, but it is at the very least 12% crit rate, which we desperately need. Now we just need to find crit damage on everything else. We had one here that I have spare that has doubles, actually, which I think is the one we are going to roll. I also have this one, which is doubles. This is the one I think we're going to use. I re-rolled this earlier. We're just going to dump into this. It's going to activate crit rate, obviously. All stats here are good. Crit damage is the best one. That's neither nor. Neither is that. You're kidding me. Wow. Well, that's horrendous. We're not using that one. That's so sad. That could have been so good. Okay, this one's going away. I know they're all beneficial stats, but that is inexcusable. We'll dump it in here. We'll try for the next one. We are hoping to get only crit on this if we can. Obviously, one of them is going to go into attack because it's going to unlock attack. It has to. That's still not very good, is it? He'll hold on to it for the time being. I'm at least very happy with the feather, and then we'll just see what we can get in the coming days, I guess. We will also have a look at goblets, though, because as with all of these episodes that I do, I am okay with stealing a goblet in particular, because I don't mind it all that much. We are going to try and see cryo damage bonus, though. I only own 2 of those, apparently. That is very unfortunate. I mean, look, I'm just gonna take the one I have on Skirk. The Skirk one I have is ridiculous, as you can see. It's pretty damn good. It's the best handicap I can give our boy, honestly. It puts... It's still not very good, is it? Oh, well.
Why?
And let's throw it all into the strong box as well, for good measure. We get an HP thing, a feather that isn't good. We already have a decent feather, so we don't need to do anything about that. A defense head, an attack head, pretty bad flower. That isn't an awful flower, realistically. There's also an attack stance there, but that thing doesn't have anything beneficial on it. We'll keep the flower for now, though. And we'll get 3 more. We already have a feather I'm happy with. That one is not very good at all, and neither is that. And we get a singular one more from the scam box, and it's a feather we do not need. Let's put this in here. I hope it rolls mostly crit damage, crit rate. EM is okay, too. That's honestly pretty good. I kind of like that. Oh, okay, you know what? That's a really good flower. I'm not going to hold anything against that. EM actually helps quite a bit with the melts, too. So that's not bad at all. We're lacking crit damage by quite a bit, but we're now on 34% crit rate, and then 15% off of the cryo thing that we have, if we hit something that is affected by cryo or is frozen, and then 15% off of Rosaria as well, so we're basically at 64% right now. That's pretty good. So there I was, doing the daily grinding, and we managed to find a circlet that isn't completely trash. Needless to say, though, the only stat here that's actually good is crit rate, and we don't really want a crit damage headpiece, I don't think. But it's nice to have anyway. Because we haven't rolled anything in a while, I figured, you know what, let's roll this one and watch it completely fail, as it most likely will. It's gonna go HP first, obviously, and now there's one good stat on this, and it's crit rate. Well, okay, I guess. We keep going. That's not a good stat, but we'll keep going. Because we have the time. That's not it. We're gonna max this out and then use this for, yeah, no, that's not very good at all, is it? My KAEYA is not having any artifact luck. It kind of sucks because this team is surprisingly fun to play. I've been messing around with it a lot off screen too, and this team is legitimately very cool. I think Emily helps this team out so much, and it's very rare to see a team where Emily can actually shine, and considering that's one of the characters we already did an Ascension Arc for, it does feel a little bit vindicated that we actually have at least a team where we can go, oh yeah, she actually kind of works here. I don't know, there's just something about it. There's also a lot of buttons to press. This is a very high APM team. And that's fun, because most of my teams are very passive. Finally having a team where you actually have to push a couple buttons is pretty fun. I like this team a lot, surprisingly. This is cool. The damage numbers aren't terrible either. Last one, it's the wrong. Right, one live stream later, and my audio settings being absolutely whack as always, we're back with the KAEYA video. I've done some farming off screen because all of this basically came from the live stream that we did of the new patch, and we're just gonna offer up whatever we've got here. I've done some farming off screen as well, and you will get to see everything that we've got. Nothing there, nothing here. Elemental Mastery is funny. Very good attack percent, but I don't need that. This isn't good at all, and this isn't at all either. Reroll these two, we'll get two more. That is a good feather, but I do not need that, and neither do I need this. And then the final one, yibbity yobbity. No. Okay, well, it is what it is, I guess. Let's give KAEYA a little... I've also had Yoimiya. We were doing things with Yoimiya. Don't worry about it. There's our little goofball. In terms of artifacts right now, we did actually manage to get this flower, which, as you can see, is very, very good. This is a massive upgrade, and I'm happy to take that one. We also got a feather upgrade, surprisingly enough. This thing is also entirely insane. I'm very happy about these two. I have no problem with them at all. We were still lacking a headpiece, however, we did find this one, which I think is good enough, because this crit damage one is awful, but this crit rate one is actually pretty good. And as we said, we kind of want the crit rate over the crit damage, just to ensure that we are always hitting the crits. So we're actually going to do the unthinkable and destroy the old one, because I don't really need that one. It's pretty bad. And... well, that's unfortunate. If this is even a single crit damage, I think that's fine. We still want the crit rate mostly, so it is what it is. Okay, it's one. It's not good, but it's fine, I guess. And then lastly, we finally got ourselves an attack sans today, actually, that isn't completely horrific. We're gonna be leveling this. It's, again, not the best one, but we have two beneficial stats on it, so... oh, I'm spamming the button that doesn't do anything. We're looking for energy recharge and crit damage here are both actually really good, so that's neither nor. Crit damage is good. Flat attack is not. Is this going to be another 1-1-1-1 to finish this off? Because that'd be kind of sad. No, it's actually 2 into crit damage. I'll take it, I guess. It's not perfect for obvious reasons, but it is decent enough. So the final stats for KAEYA is going to be 54 to 161. But do keep in mind here, he is given, what is it, 15% crit rate from Rosaria, and then 15% crit rate from hitting something that's affected by Cryo. So it's like 30% up. So he's basically at 84, 161, unless I've fucked it up royally, which I might have. I don't actually remember what the thing says. Let's look at that, actually. Okay, so I wasn't entirely crazy. It is, in fact, crit rate increased against anything that is affected by Cryo, which means we don't have to worry about that all too much, because they'll most likely have Cryo on them by the time we hit them with something. So everything is fine and dandy. We will be trying this in the Spiral Abyss on floor 11 to start, and then going to floor 12 as we always do, because I am genuinely curious to see if this is able to do anything, really. Just to make sure we absolutely eradicate the other half. Yeah, sure. Skill damage isn't terrible, so I guess we'll do that. Here is our boy! I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna work in terms of Spiral Abyss, really, because I have... oh, that is the wrong thing to do on Emily, but whatever. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, look, it's not doing a lot necessarily, but it is doing. If I did everything correctly and then absolutely gaff it the first 2 seconds, that might have actually worked. Because we would do this, we would hit that. We are a little bit energy recharge short, sadly, which is a damn shame. But we are kind of dealing damage. We aren't critting as much as I would like to, though, which is a problem, but we knew we were going to have that problem anyway, so it's not entirely bad. Emily obviously is carrying a lot of this team because it's Emily. But with some proper energy recharge, if we had managed to get an energy recharge piece instead of an attack one, I'm decently sure I would have been using that, because that would have helped so much. It should also be noted, my Rosaria is not built, so she isn't exactly contributing a lot, and my Bennett isn't fully built either, but it kind of works. Let's blow past this side and check the rest. Alright, done in a couple seconds. Let's see the next side. Could we get something? Elemental Mastery is not terrible for this. Bop. Boop. Give him a bit of a whack. Give him a whoosh. Yeah, the energy on this team is actually struggling a little bit. The positive thing is we have Rosaria, and Rosaria does help a lot. But not having this up every single rotation here is going to suck. Like, when it's up, it's not half bad. Like, we're hitting some... We're not hitting very large numbers, but we're hitting a lot of numbers, and I think that's the main deal here. If I had more build time for KAEYA, I think this would have legitimately actually kind of worked. It's a bit weird. I'm into this. It's a very fun... This is a very high APM team. I've said that before, but it is actually very fun to play. Like, things are just kind of happening all the time, and it's a very low downtime team. Jeez, I kind of like it. Oh, I actually got stuff from that. That's funny. Yeah, like, the main issue I'm seeing here is the fact that we kind of have to rotate our applications, and that does suck. But once everything is set up like this, like, the numbers we're getting, as you can see there, they aren't terrible. Yeah, they're nothing massive, but for a character that is 500 years old and I've built for 3 weeks, like, this is usable. Yeah, like, I vibe with this. Also, it's a chance for Emily to do something, which is always interesting, because let's be honest here, when the hell do you get to see Emily, really? But, like, as long as our burst is up and we're doing stuff, I'm seeing some 20k, some 11ks kind of floating around, and they are consistently beating them down. It's not that bad. Again, if you had all of these characters properly built and actually invested more time into them, I think KAEYA could be really good here. We do have one more team I'd like to try with KAEYA, though, and that one we are bringing into floor 12, because I think he's gonna have a much easier time there, honestly. Now, unfortunately, the floor 12 setup this time around isn't that good for the team that I want to play, so we're just going to be doing what we can. But we're bringing in Skirk for this one, and we are replacing Yelan in my regular team and instead putting in KAEYA. KAEYA's off-field in this team should be way more than enough to keep up with Farina and everyone else, so I don't think we're going to have a massive problem there. The second half, unfortunately, downright freaking requires Electro Charge this time around, so we're just gonna put them there and see if we can even do anything on this. Who knows? Skill damage or max HP, none of these are really good, but we'll pick max HP for the second half, I guess. But yeah, for this team, we're literally just gonna press all of the buttons. And we're gonna Skirk. Because Skirk is always so close to enemies, there's no reason to not play KAEYA in a team like this if you don't have anyone else. Because realistically, all you're going to be doing anyway is just this. Then you swap into KAEYA, you swap into this, you ensure everything is back up. Unfortunately, we're a little bit low on energy recharge in this team still because I haven't upgraded them. We'll live with it. But it's certainly doing. We're not exactly struggling on applications either here because of Farina, so I don't know, man. It's a little bit slow of a clear, but I could vibe with this. We can just enable that. We can activate this, click the buttons. I don't know which one I have to kill anymore. It's this one. They keep moving around, and I don't like it. We didn't really get to use KAEYA at all there, which is a shame, but look, sometimes that's just the way it is with these things. I really need to build my Skirk properly. She is just not dealing damage. It's such a shame, too, because I really do like Skirk. But yeah, no. I think KAEYA can work in Skirk's team if you give proper attention to him, of course, which we haven't really done, let's be honest here. But no, I like it a lot. I think that's as good as I want KAEYA to be in the time frame we're given, so we're gonna round him off. And just like that, KAEYA's video has come to an end. I'm a little bit taken aback by the fact that a 1.0 character actually managed to do fairly well. I had my doubts when we started this episode, to be honest, because I expected the numbers to be horrendous. But KAEYA kinda holds up. Not in comparison to some of the later releases, of course, but if someone was still playing KAEYA to this day, I could kind of see why. Incredibly easy playstyle, he's got decent damage, he's got very high cryo uptime. I can see it! But regardless, let's have a look at the pre and post build so that you are aware. Our pre-build, of course, looked like absolute garbage because he basically started this episode being completely unbuilt. And for our final build score, it is going to end up as a 72% C. The main problem that we have here is the fact that the level and talents are just not really there. We are lacking a little bit according to the Genshin build rater here. He is below level 90, his burst is not level 10, which he probably should be, and most of the artifact substats are pretty bad. It's still managing a B level on both artifacts and level, thankfully, but it's still not enough points to really get anywhere. Weapon, on the other hand, though, is 100%, so, you know, we at least got one of them this time around. But ending up in a 72 is not necessarily great. I'd have to sit down and really get him a decent artifact set to make him a better, I think. But I still kind of enjoyed playing him. He was fun. Now for the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros here, because let's be honest, KAEYA has a couple of them. He is a free character. You get this guy for absolutely nothing, and you can play him to your heart's content. He's not that, like, dependent on his constellation, even if the constellations make him much better. You can still rock him out from the start of the game to the end of the game, and it would make no difference. He's also extremely easy to play, as we've noticed. It's literally just click your skill button, click your burst, and then swap to someone else or make him hit stuff. It's very, very nice for new players that they get a character whose function is very basic, and playstyle is basic to boot. He then has decent damage, even at low investment. I mean, our build is not great, because we only spent roughly 3.5 weeks of time, give or take a little bit. We're still hitting for about 16 to 17k on occasion with his melt bursts, and it's kinda good. Like, yeah, it's not gonna rival Skirk or Escoffier or hell, even Silali sometimes, but he's there. He can do stuff. It's cool. Then, as I mentioned, he has a surprisingly high cryo uptime, mostly due to his burst applying cryo about every tick that it can, which is really, really good. With enough energy recharge, you can basically have it online 100% of the time as well, so you'll always have a cryo applicator for your teams. Lastly, of course, he teaches us valuable lessons about cryo and the rain, because how else would we know that cryo is always more effective in rain? Now for the cons. Being a 1.0 character, of course, he just cannot compare to later releases. If we're looking at characters, again, like Skirk, Escoffier, or Sitlolly, he just does not stand a chance. I'm sorry. There's very little reason you would want to run him over any of those, even though they fill different roles, because he can't keep up with them in the same way. I'd argue that he might not be able to keep up with the characters like Fremine if probably, like, correctly built either. Though don't quote me on that one, because I haven't built Fremine, so I wouldn't know. But you could tell that he's lacking behind, is all I'm saying here. If the Knights of Favonius get a similar buff to the Hexerai, then maybe he'll be back up again, but for now, I can't really warrant using him over anyone else, honestly. The main problem with this that I feel, though, is the fact that he is Cryo, and Cryo, unfortunately, lack a lot of team compositions outside of Freeze and the occasional meme build that we did today, so it's really hard to kind of slot in a Cryo character without a distinct use. Sitlolly can be slotted into almost any team simply because she's a very strong shielder that buffs damage thanks to Scroll, but you can't really do the same with KAEYA. KAEYA doesn't have that role, if that makes sense. For him to actually work, you'd either have to play a team that requires something to freeze, which is a freeze team, or possibly a melt team could be done with KAEYA, because he does have really high cryo uptime, as I mentioned. But even then, the team compositions where KAEYA is a possibility are slim to none. And that's really sad. That's a problem for Cryo in general, though, but it kind of affects KAEYA too. Then we have his energy costs and energy in general. He's a very hungry boy, and he needs all the energy that he can get, even if his burst cost is only 60. He doesn't generate that many particles by himself, so he kind of needs assistance from other teammates with either Favonius weapons or just, I don't know, Raiden Shogun if you're crazy, I guess. But I'm not putting it as a major con for him, because you can get around that if you just build correctly. And lastly, his weapon choices are fairly limited. He has maybe 2 or 3 decent ones that he can use, and all other ones are premium 5-star weapons, and that's kind of lame. So, for my final rating for KAEYA, I'm going to rate Fun as a B, because I did in fact have a lot of fun playing KAEYA this time around. He's kind of goofy, kind of running around, and it's just nice to see numbers. I'm gonna rate his difficulty an S, because there was no difficulty at all. I managed to figure out this character very easily and play him at least to a decent enough level that I'm happy. Exploration, I'm going to give him a C. He doesn't necessarily have anything worth mentioning other than his ice bridging, but the fact that he has ice bridging is definitely going to give him a boost. Late game, I'm going to rate a C, simply because I think there is a way to make KAEYA usable in the late game, though I'm not clever enough to figure out how. He does have the cryo application, he has some decent off-field damage. I'm pretty sure that with proper investment, KAEYA could be played in a Skirk team fairly well and still dish out, you know, a lot of damage. But I don't have the time nor the resources to get to that point, but if you did, I'm pretty sure he would keep up. And then lastly, on investment, I'm giving him a B, as he doesn't really need that much investment. He needs his burst maxed out, he needs to be leveled, and he needs a decent weapon that buffs his burst damage, and other than that, it's kind of rock and roll from there. And as most of you know, I have a tier list that I show at the end of this video with all of the characters we've done for Ascension Arc to show whether or not I intend on playing them afterwards. We rank them from will play actively, will play regularly, might play sometimes, most likely won't play, benched, and then KAEYA got his own tier because it's KAEYA. This time around, KAEYA is unfortunately going to end up in the most likely won't play tier. I don't have a reason to play KAEYA. It's really that simple. I have access to Skirk, Escoffier, and Sitlolly alongside most other Cryo characters, and they simply slot into teams better than KAEYA does. If I ever need to have an off-field Cryo applicator for some reason, Escoffier kind of fills that role while dealing more damage and providing a heal to the team, even if her resistance shredding isn't necessarily useful. It's just such a lopsided kind of thing, because if I didn't have all of these premium characters, I could see myself using KAEYA. The only reason he ends up in this tier is because I just have better options. But if you didn't have better options, KAEYA's still really solid. There's nothing wrong with playing KAEYA, which shocks me because he still works to this day. Anyways, as you all know, there's also a vote for these videos that go live on my channel roughly a couple of weeks after a video's release. And last vote, we actually had a special feature vote where we are going to be building 2 characters at the same time, because there's a lot of sort of, I don't know how to explain it well. There's a lot of pairings in Genshin these days with teams that kind of go together in a way. Look, I'll just show you the vote and you'll understand. The vote was between the Surfer Chicks, which was Mulanni and Dea, which is a kind of a weird interaction that they have together that really works out. We had the Hoffentoften between Racer and Sucrose to build a Hexarai team, which I thought would have been funny. We had the number 1 fangirl, which would have been Raiden Shogun and Kujusara, which is a team that is long forgotten and I've really wanted to build for a while. But unfortunately, through all of the votes, there was one team that absolutely crushed everyone else. And that was the Bros, which is Auroron and Aoife, with 57% of the total votes. I get it. You want to see the Bros. I got you. We'll build the Bros next time. For now, though, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you would like to have more influence over this show, you can become a YouTube member. They gain extra votes, they get a few little fancy schmancy benefits, like a cute little flower next to your name, and you get to support the channel if you'd like that. If not, though, I hope you stay safe out there, and I'll see you here next time, where I'm gonna have to listen to Kakuku for about 3 weeks straight.